Okay. All right. It is about 2 in the morning right now, and I just I was going to sleep, but the more I sat here and thought about this movie, the more that I just had to get on here and just talk about it while it's still fresh in my mind. So, as you guys see in the title, I went to go see Hurry Up Tomorrow, and I want to keep this video a bit traditional. So we're gonna do our little cold opening, and let's just talk about my experience with The Weeknd, because I would consider The Weeknd to be my number one favorite artist of all time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has a bad album. I enjoy my favorite album is After Hours. I feel like that's like a his best album, actually. Is just his best era, honestly. He's very talented, an awesome songwriter. His production's insane. And Hurry Up Tomorrow is literally my most replayed on Spotify right now. You know, you can look at the little stats for Spotify. It's like, what is the top song for the past 6 months or something, like, not 6 months, but like the past 4 weeks or something like that. Hurry Up Tomorrow, like, I think it's Drive. Drive is one of the songs from Hurry Up Tomorrow is on there. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired. But that is my experience with The Weeknd. So, when I say this is coming from, I wouldn't consider myself to be a diehard EXO stan or anything like that. I do, I don't stan anybody, but I'm going to say this as a genuine fan of The Weeknd. What the did I just watch? This video is brought to you by Hellscape Trigger, a novel written and published by yours truly. An updated version of my book is coming soon, so subscribe for more information. Okay, um, again, I'm gonna probably keep bringing this up. We're looking at this now. We're now pushing 2:30. It's 2:25. Ignore my bed. Ignore my hair. I might look crazy. You know, I can't really see on the small DJI pocket screen, but I do have a shirt on that I bought before this review, Hurry Up Tomorrow, because this is my favorite album of 2025. I love Hurry Up Tomorrow, but the album, not the movie. Actually, no. Okay. Let's just get into the review. I don't even have any notes, but Hurry Up Tomorrow is an objectively bad film, and the movie. By the time I upload this, the movie just came out. I'm gonna slice it. So right now we're gonna talk about non-spoilers, and then we're gonna get into our slight spoiler review like I do with the other ones. I feel as if The Weeknd needs to take a writing class and just learn about how characters interact with each other and how to bring your vision into life, or bring your vision to life. Does that make sense? While I was watching this film, it felt as if it didn't even feel as if I had no idea what was going on. I genuinely didn't know what was going on. And I had watched it with somebody, and I had sat there and I had said, this feels as if The Weeknd had a vision. He knows what he wants to do. He just poorly executed it, bringing it to the big screen, like bringing it to how we would see it, if that makes sense. I made an example. I was like, if The Weeknd were to be sitting next to me right now and we watched this movie together, he'd understand every single thing that's happening because he made it. But I wouldn't, because I can't read his mind. That's what I was trying to say. I don't think he realizes that the viewer can't read his mind, because some of the things that happened in this film, I'm just highly confused, because this movie is a send-off to The Weeknd's character. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. After this movie, there is no more The Weeknd, you know? And it started with After Hours, then Dawn FM, and then we get Hurry Up Tomorrow. And from the announcement of Hurry Up Tomorrow, when the album cover changed, and he announced like a new movie, new merchandise, new tour, everything. It kind of threw me off because I'm like, man, we just hit it's like a hard right. Like we just made a hard right into nowhere. You know what I'm saying? The trilogy payoff, it just didn't. Hurry Up Tomorrow just doesn't feel like a good payoff to this new trilogy that he made, if I had to be honest. I'm gonna go back to the movie, but I can talk about just the trilogy another time. All you guys need to know, I just don't feel as if Hurry Up Tomorrow is a good ending to the Weeknd's character, especially with this whole movie that just came out that's not really good. You know what I'm saying? Do I like Hurry Up Tomorrow? Yes, I like the movie. And there's some aspects to the movie that I really like the cinematography is amazing. This is like a really, really good looking film. Another thing, the sound design. The sound design is insane. If you are a fan of The Weeknd and a fan of Hurry Up Tomorrow, I suggest you go watch this movie because he plays almost every song from it. I was in the theater singing along to it. There was nobody in the theater. I caught an 11:30 screening. That's why it's 2 a.m. when I'm recording this. But anyways, the music is awesome. I mean, it's The Weeknd. The sound design is awesome. Cinematography, I said that. Even the performances are solid. There's not that many characters in this movie. You have The Weeknd, Jenna Ortega, and Barry Keoghan. I probably butchered his last name, but you have those three. That's literally it. That is everybody. Everybody's performance is pretty good. Even The Weeknd, who actually surprised me with his performance. As you guys know, The Weeknd, I believe his live television debut was The Idol, unless you want to count American Dad, where he sung that song. But I believe it was The Idol. The Idol is fucking terrible. I'm sorry. It's just a bad movie. You know what I'm saying? Or not movie. It's a bad show. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. His performance was terrible. That show is bad. It's just a bad show. You flash forward to Hurry Up Tomorrow. It does seem like he's taking some acting classes, or he listened to the criticism of The Idol and actually, perfected his craft in that. I wouldn't say it's the best performance, but you guys might see a video of his performance circulating on social media. Trust me, that is taken out of context, and it's gonna sadly overshadow his actual performance, the raw emotion that he can evoke, and just the overall just feeling. Even though he doesn't really speak in this film, it's mostly him just walking around looking like that. Like, Jenna Ortega is probably the best part of this film. I keep underestimating how talented Jenna Ortega is. Like, probably top 5 best actresses out right now. Like, what an actress, dude. She can turn whatever this was into gold, almost. The way she was just acting. You would think she would phone it in from reading the script, but no, she gave it her all. And I think it seems like she's a fan of The Weeknd. I haven't seen any interviews, but just from her performance, I guess spoilers, there's a scene where she dances to some of his music. I guess that's a spoiler, but you can just tell that's just her being her, listening to the music. But anyways, the pacing is all over the place. The movie doesn't pick up until like 30 minutes in, when The Weeknd meets Jenna Ortega. That's when the movie actually picks up, because there's a point where it doesn't even feel like it's told in order for a second, unless I missed something. But essentially, it's not necessarily a spoiler, but if you guys think, I will say mild spoiler, not necessarily like, I'm not big at giving away big plot points yet, but I'm just going to tell the premise of where the movie feels like it's out of order. There is a point where The Weeknd, the movie starts off with him performing, and then after he performs, there's another scene where he's at the doctor and he's looking at his vocals and stuff, and I'm thinking, oh, this is where he loses his voice. No, because just then he performed amazingly. He sung "Wake Me Up," and it was great. You know what I'm saying? It's a successful performance. He doesn't lose his voice until after being checked up by the doctor. So I'm just like, well, what was the point of that scene there? You know what I'm saying? they and the doctor, and it's not even like, oh, he's just checking to see if his he can sing still, you know what I'm saying? No, the doctor even says like, oh, you can't sing because of stress. You know what I'm saying? That's probably why. And I'm just thinking like, shouldn't the scene come after he actually loses his voice, not that before that? Again, the movie's all over the place. Jenna Ortega's character is an arsonist. Is arsonist a word? She commits arson, kidnapping, murder. Like, these three things happen in the film. Jenna Ortega's character is insane. There's no sort of innuendo or even like reference to her, or even, you know what I'm saying, there's no allusion to her being this way. It kind of just happens. So another thing that I'd say that just like kind of just like took me out the film, there's two things, and it's all happens in the beginning. There's about 10 minutes of credits just happen. I might be exaggerating, but there's just scenes happening and playing around. They're just showing you, I guess, the Weeknd's life, what he does before he gets ready for a concert, and they're showing you his like whole entire. I already said that, but as they're showing you this stuff and they're cutting scene by scene, they're just showing little like people that worked on, like, subtitles, people that worked on the film. Isn't that what the credits is for? Isn't that why people stay until the end? Why are you? And it's not even. It's in the corner of the film. It's not like it's plastered in the middle of it. But I'm like, what? It becomes distracting because now you're just, and the scenes can't. The movie can't pick up, and you can see this. The movie literally can't pick up until the credits are done, because it's just long, drawn out scenes. Amazing cinematography, but just long, drawn out scenes. The movie, they start talking and they start explaining plot details after the credits are gone. So I'm just like, what is the point of this? And another thing, they give you a warning at the beginning of the film. But if you are epileptic or you're sensitive to flashing lights, don't go see this film. I'm not epileptic. I'm not sensitive to flashing lights as far as I know, but I felt like this movie was going to give me a seizure. The way that there's a nightclub scene and it's just flashing lights, just insane flashing lights, and I guess you're supposed to feel disoriented because the Weeknd in that scene, he's disoriented. But dude, there was a point where I had to close my eyes. I literally had to pull one of these. I had to do this because I'm like, bro, what are we doing? and the thing is, I'm not gonna say that was a bad scene, but I am gonna say, like, if you are sensitive to flashing lights, just watch out for that scene there. I know my my non-spoiler review was all over the place. My apologies. This is just a one take. Nothing's really planned out. Again, look at my bed, look at my hair. I don't even have my glasses on. So anyways, I just want to get into the spoiler review. And I'm not going to break down the film completely because it literally, when I upload this, the film has just come out. So I'm not going to spoil anything too deeply. But like I said before in the beginning, I feel as if The Weeknd just needs to take a writing class, because he has a premise. He's a really good songwriter, and he's a really good storyteller. From After Hours to Dawn FM, I'm not going to talk about Hurry Up Tomorrow, but from those two albums, the story in there, where After Hours is him doing all this bad stuff, and then he gets killed or something like that, and then he goes to purgatory in Dawn FM. Sick. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Even in Hurry Up Tomorrow, if you look at Big Sleep on the track list, Big Sleep, listen to that, all the way down to Hurry Up Tomorrow, there's a little story being told there. You have, I guess I'll explain it from how I know it, but Red Terror from Give Me Mercy is him kind of confronting his sins or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Kind of just asking the Lord for mercy, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, you have Drive, where he's finally happy and content. And after Drive, you have The Abyss. I forgot The Abyss is in there, but I don't know how The Abyss really lines up. But anyways, let's skip The Abyss. After The Abyss, you have Without Warning. Without Warning is literally him choosing his legacy. He's content with people knowing that he's content with knowing that his name will forever be legendary. You know what I'm saying? And people will never forget The Weeknd. And then Hurry Up Tomorrow is him being content with dying, like the death of the character. The Weeknd, you know how he's been taking out all the other letters until it spells the end. That he's an amazing storyteller, but he just doesn't realize that we can't read his mind, because what you put on the screen is what I'm seeing. I can't DM you and be like, hey Abel, what was this scene here? What was the significance of timestamp 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 13 seconds? I can't do that. I literally can't do that. And I'm not going to go out of my way and watch interviews of you explaining the film, because it should just be in the film, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like, and it's not even like there's like small innuendos. I understand, like, if there's small innuendos and I'm not picking it up, that's on me for not going out of my way to do more research. I'm talking about normal plot points, just stuff that needs to be put together. You have the beginning, the end. There's no middle. The middle is taken out and thrown away. Like, I will break down the film in like the most minute way possible. So, and I won't even break it down fully, but I will talk about some plot points that made absolutely no sense. The film, all the way up to the scene where they are in a hotel. There's a scene where they're in a hotel, and it makes absolutely no sense. The film from there, solid. So you have The Weeknd. He's alluding, the whole entire time in the film, he's alluding to wanting to escape this life of fame. He doesn't like the drugs, he doesn't like the women, he doesn't like the drinks or anything like that. He just wants to feel he just doesn't want to feel abandoned, you know what I'm saying? He just wants to feel a genuine love and connection. And so when I brought up the whole entire him losing his voice, he loses his voice on stage, and he's trying to sing and he can't do it, and you see that happen. I kind of felt bad. I was like, dang, man, that kind of sucks, because this all comes back to when he lost his voice in real life in LA or something like that. He lost his voice, and this is where this all spirals into. So he loses his voice, and he's kind of like looking around the audience, and he locks eyes with Jenna Ortega. And Jenna Ortega's character is just all over the place too. I'll get into that later, but he locks eyes with Jenna Ortega's character. And you can tell there's and this whole entire time he's been longing for like a genuine connection, you know what I'm saying? And at that point, he finds a genuine connection with Jenna Ortega as he locks eyes with her. And as he's like, he kind of just leaves. He abandons at this point, this is where he abandons the fame. He abandons it, and he's leaving backstage. He throws on a hoodie. You know, celebrities have to go incognito. He throws on a hoodie, and he ends up running into Jenna Ortega's character. And right then and there, you can feel a connection, you know what I'm saying? So right then and there, he's like, you just want to come with me? She's like, yeah. And then from there, and this is probably the best scene in the whole entire film, is when they're just having fun at a fair. They go out to eat, and it's all to one of my favorite songs by The Weeknd, Drive. And it's just like a little mini music video that's happening of them on a Ferris wheel and stuff like that. And there's a really deep scene where they go to a hotel room, and The Weeknd plays a new song for her, and it's Hurry Up Tomorrow. So at this point, Hurry Up Tomorrow it's unreleased, so he plays it for her, and he's still trying to figure out the melodies and like the lyrics and stuff. And she's like, man, this feels like you're talking to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I relate to you, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I've messed up a relationship with my dad, my mom, and The Weeknd, you know, they kind of connect, and they kind of hug and embrace and stuff. And at that point, I thought they were gonna kiss, and I was like, don't kiss, just embrace. You guys are just two broken people that like are just happy to have each other's presence around you. No romantic feelings, none of that. You know what I'm saying? And so that happens, and it kind of like fades to black, and you see like strange little colors and stuff. It reminded me of Sam Levinson from Euphoria, where it's just like, it's like a little mini music video type of thing, and it goes on for entirely way too long. But anyways, the next day, The Weeknd wakes up, and you know, the chemistry's still there, but all of a sudden, The Weeknd kind of just code switches. He's kind of just like, okay, well, I gotta go back to work. I'm on tour, you know what I'm saying? I just gotta go. And this is after Jenna Ortega talks to her mom, and it's like a very emotional scene. She starts crying, so she's in distraught. And The Weeknd kind of just like blanks out. And reminder, when I had told you up until this point, there is no illusion to him wanting the fame. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely no illusion. He wants out of it feels like. And he finds that with Jenna Ortega. But up until this point, he literally just code switches. Like, Jenna Ortega's talking to him. She's like, hey, you got to take me with you. You know what I'm saying? I would love to go with you. And he's like, no, you're not going with me. I have to go to work. And then this is the scene you guys have probably seen online, probably, if you guys are familiar with this just whole this genre of film or just media. If you guys are familiar with The Weeknd, you've probably seen this scene online. And it's Jenna Ortega's kind of like ranted to him, where he's like, well, I don't know what she's saying, but all of a sudden Abel's just like, shut up, what is wrong with you, what are you doing, shut up, what is going on, I'm on tour, I have to go to work, I gotta work, I gotta feed myself, I gotta go to work, I'm on a tour. He doesn't say it like that, but basically he all of a sudden he wants to go back to work, he wants to go back and be a celebrity, a singer. Even though this whole entire time you can tell he's kind of dissociating from all of that. And so from there, and this is where the movie just goes downhill, because I'm like, what is happening? Jenna Ortega knocks him out and keeps him in a hotel room. And I said I wasn't going to break down the film. I'm here breaking it down. If you guys don't, I'm already here. But he ends up going to a hotel room, and I'll skim over it. But this is, at this point, Jenna Ortega's character kind of switches up, because from this whole entire time, there's not a point where she wants to allude and get to know the real Weeknd. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is Abel Tesfaye? And there's probably going to be somebody saying, like, you're not a real Weeknd fan if you can't say his full name. I'm sorry, I have a life. I'm not going to remember this man's government name. I know his real name's Abel. I feel like that's all I need to know. You guys don't know my new real name. So she wants to know the real Weeknd, and I swear to you, it is just a little mini montage. Not a montage necessarily, but it's like a 1 to 2 to 3 minute just scene of Jenna Ortega dancing to the Weeknd's music. I like the scene, but it just didn't make any sense. And there's another part where the Weeknd, he wakes up after being knocked out. And by the way, the Weeknd's tied up during that scene too. So after he gets knocked out, he wakes up tied up. And God, I'm all over the place, because there's another scene. There's just like there's a really stupid like hallucination scene of there's just like this woman that's like trying to eat the Weeknd or something, and then he's tweaking out, and then he goes to a campfire and he sees a little boy, and the little boy starts singing Hurry Up Tomorrow, but I don't know what language he was singing it in. Does the Weeknd speak another language besides English? Because he was singing it in an unknown language. It wasn't English. I didn't know what it was. I was like, what is happening? And that's where I'm saying the Weeknd doesn't realize that I cannot read his mind. That whole scene went over my head. I don't understand what I was looking at. And again, like I said, if the Weeknd was there sitting next to me, he'd probably be like, did you understand that scene? I did this, and that, and that, and this, and this, that, and the third. I would have been looking at him like, what? You're crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, I won't go too deep into the film, but I mean, I'm gonna keep saying this over and over and over again. So yeah, the Weeknd is tied up, and Barry Keoghan's character, and this is after Jenna Ortega's dancing and stuff. She's trying to figure out what the Weeknd, like, what's his real motivations, and she kind of puts it together that the songs are just about him. Like, the Weeknd's just a terrible person. Not Abel, but the Weeknd, the person that he plays, is known to be a terrible, toxic person if you listen to his lyrics. You know what I'm saying? She ends up putting that together, and Barry Keoghan's character ends up coming in, and it's a little tussle between him and Jenna Ortega, because he realizes that, or he doesn't even realize that the Weeknd is tied up in there. Jenna Ortega just starts attacking him when he comes inside, and it's the most, it just confused me. Like, he's kind of just like, I'm not gonna do his accent, but he's just like, calm down, little lady, calm down. He's like trying to hold her down, and Jenna Ortega's like squealing. She's like, I swear to you, she let out like two weird little squeals as she's getting like picked up, and like she's not even getting slung, she's just getting picked up and held as he's like, calm down, little lady, don't calm down. And then she ends up throwing bottles at him. I don't know. I don't know why they depicted Jenna Ortega like that. It was weird, but yeah, she's throwing bottles at him, and he ends up like straddling her and then starts strangling her, and she grabs a glass. She grabs a piece of glass. Spoiler, big spoiler. But she grabs a piece of glass and she ends up stabbing Barry in the neck, and Barry dies. So this is what I'm saying. Jenna Ortega is a murderer, and she's an arsonist. I don't know if arsonist is a word, but she's an arsonist because the movie literally starts off with her burning down a house. You don't know significance of her burning down the house. She just does it. She literally just does it. And you don't know why. You don't know why she does it. It just happens. And she rides around with a gas can. So that's what you need to know there. So yeah, and then she ends up opening the door that the Weeknd is in, so the Weeknd can see his friend. The Weeknd sees him, and he's kind of just like, oh well. And that's the thing. That's the strange thing about their relationship, Barry Keoghan and the Weeknd. Barry plays the Weeknd's manager or just best friend, and it doesn't seem like that. And that's another thing. Like, that's why I feel like the Weeknd the ambition is there, but he just needs to take a class, and especially a class on showing and not telling, because Barry Keoghan, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, guys, I'm sorry, but Barry's character basically tells the Weeknd, like, yeah, you're the reason I dropped out of high school, because we were gonna do this together. You're my brother. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love you, Weeknd. If you know, you know. But like, he's saying all this, and the Weeknd's kind of just looking at him. He's just like, how I'm looking at you is how, like, it's just like this. And I'm just like, well, you can tell me that they have a connection there, but I don't feel it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel it at all. I actually don't give a shit. I don't know who this guy is. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing about the girl that the Weeknd's obsessing with. And if you know his music, and if you know just him in general, I try to keep up with him. But the whole reason why After Hours was a thing is because I believe he got broken up with, or he broke up with his girl or something like that. And that's how the After Hours, that's literally how the After Hours are. This is what I know. If there's anything else, correct me if I'm wrong. This is not me being 100% sure, but this is what I gained from it. After Hours to Dawn FM to Hurry Up Tomorrow was off of that one breakup. And you can see it in Hurry Up Tomorrow, because he's literally trying to, like, in the beginning of the film, he's trying to call this girl, and he's continuing just trying to call her, and she's not picking up, and to the point where he crashes out, and that's where it leads up to him losing his voice. I don't know what this girl means to the Weeknd, but he's like calling her, she doesn't pick up, he's crying, he's just crying. Again, he's that is literally him. I'm like, what? Guys, we were pushing, I don't even have my glasses, bro, I don't even care. So yeah, just the art of showing and not telling. Like, you could have easily had a flashback scene of the Weeknd with this girl so we could see how much she meant to him. Not you know what I'm saying? So we, the viewer, could feel it. You know, I just didn't feel anything, because you're just dumping all of this onto me. Going back to Barry Keoghan's death, like, the Weeknd just has the same expression. He's just like, and then a single tear comes down. He's just staring. Some might make the excuse, oh, he's in shock. He doesn't know how to react. If you were tied up and your friend, your homeboy tries to come and save you, and you hear a little tussle, and then you look and you see your homeboy dead on the floor, you're not gonna crash out. You're just gonna stare. You're just gonna stare. I'm sorry, that just sounds like the most unrealistic reaction to someone dying, is you just sitting there staring. Like, bro, no, that's an extremely unrealistic reaction. I'm sorry. You should be screaming. You should be like, oh, you. I'm not gonna say us. I'm not gonna say the word, but you know what I'm saying. Like, yo, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you. You. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you should be acting. That's the most real. I feel like that's the most realistic. The most realistic reaction to somebody dying. But he's just standing there, and then I guess Jenna Ortega's like, I don't know why she does this. They don't explain it. It's just some sort of quirk she has. Just a little quirk. She just starts setting stuff on fire. Like she carries around this big thing of gasoline. She just starts setting stuff on fire. And that's exactly what she does here. She decides to try to set the Weeknd on fire. And again, this all just keeps coming full circle. The Weeknd needs to take a writing class and realize that we cannot read his mind, because I'm just sitting in the theater like, what am I looking at? He starts singing Hurry Up Tomorrow. So he's sitting there tied up, and he's like, I see heaven, I will do love. He's literally doing that. And Jenna Ortega's like, whoa, I'm just gonna stop what I'm doing. Whoa. And the Weeknd's just singing. He's just singing. And at this point, I'm like, what am I watching? What is this? There is the art of turning your brain off and just enjoying it, but you cannot turn your brain off with something that has symbolism in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really you can't force me to not turn my brain off, or you can't force me to turn my brain off and then throw some shit in front of my face that makes no sense. I'm sorry, because I'm just like, what is the, why is he singing? Did he figure out the, as I'm telling you guys this, I'm literally trying to figure out the reason why he started singing. Like, did he figure out the lyrics to the song? Is this him becoming content with how he is? So he starts singing, and Jenna Ortega just kind of is just like, okay, you're good. I think Jenna Ortega just wanted him to finish the song, because there's points where she's like in the shower, she's singing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she really liked the song. I think she just wanted him to finish it. And she's like, okay, you're good. You can go. And that's what he does. She literally just unties him, lets him go, and he walks in. It's a really cool transition. But speaking of transitions, there are two scenes within this last part. There are two shots within this last part where I'm just like, what was the creative direction there? There is one scene, I swear to you, I thought The Weeknd and Jenna Ortega merged together, because it starts to fade in. I think The Weeknd's face fades into Jenna Ortega's, or it's the other way around, and there is a shot where Jenna Ortega has a beard. I swear to you, because it just phases in. I'm like, what? And then there's another scene where it just sits on The Weeknd's face for about a minute and 30 seconds. I'm probably over exaggerating, but it sits there for a long time, to the point where I thought the screening in my theater broke. I thought they started closing it, because it was pushing like 1 a.m. I thought they started closing down the theater mid viewing, because it's just stuck like this. And then he blinks, and I'm like, okay. Like, what is that? What is that? So Jenna Ortega ends up letting him go, and she just disappears. She literally just disappears. She doesn't show up anymore. You know what I'm saying? She's gone. The Weeknd, and it's another. This is probably a really cool transition. I guess before she leaves, she sets the hotel on fire. So The Weeknd kind of leaves the hotel room, and he kind of turns the corner. And as he turns the corner, he's backstage again. He's backstage getting ready for another concert. And the movie ends with that first album cover. I'll put it in the video, but it ends with that first album cover of him looking into the camera. And that's how it ends. And then Without a Warning plays. And that's it. And so now you're just sitting in the theater like, what did I watch? What is this? Hurry Up Tomorrow should have been the story of After Hours and Dawn FM. The complete cohesive story of After Hours and Dawn FM. It should have started off with The Weeknd in his red suit. I'm going to argue that is literally his most iconic look. He trotted around in this red suit for 3 years. To the point, and that's what another thing. He trotted around in this suit for 3 years, but in his first ever movie, he doesn't mention it. This is like a big prominent role for The Weeknd, you know what I'm saying? After Hours is like the dark side of The Weeknd, him embracing that dark side, and Don FM is him paying for that. There's just a lot of significance behind, there's a lot of lore behind what he's trying to do, and there's a lot of significance behind it, but we just don't know. Why does he wear that robe? You know what I'm saying? Why does he have this robe on? You see this shirt? Dude, do you see this shirt? What is the significance of this shirt? What is happening here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? I don't even know. It's a killer shirt, but I'm like, dude, I don't know the significance of what you're trying to do here. Amazing songwriter, bad screenwriter, good music, bad movie. So the movie should have been just After Hours to Don FM to Hurry Up Tomorrow. The three album trilogy right there into one movie. I broke this down. I swear to you, I believe, I don't want to give myself a big head, but I believe I wrote a better movie than The Weeknd. I just wrote a better movie than what he put together. And I'm not gonna say I wrote a better movie. I'm not gonna say that. Let's take that out. I'm not gonna say I wrote a better movie, but I made more sense of what this movie could have been than what it actually was. And what I did basically was I was like, just make it a one long music video. This can just be a visual to your soundtrack. So you started off with Wake Me Up. Jenna Ortega is the person that needs to wake The Weeknd up and save him from these paralyzing demons. If you listen to the lyrics of Wake Me Up, you know. Cry For Me could have been that girl that he is still crying over throughout the film, you know? What is next? What is after that? Can't Sing, I Can't Sing. That could have literally been him not being able to sing. Cry For Me could have led to him crashing. He probably could have been singing Cry For Me. It would have been cool if in this universe he debuted that song, right? And he's singing it, and right before that beat drops, he loses his voice. You know what I'm saying? Because he's too into it. He's kind of like crying and shit. He's kind of crying while he's singing it. You know what I'm saying? He loses his voice. Boom, Cry For Me. And then you go into I Can't Sing, where he's telling people I can't sing, and then Sao Paulo. That's I think I said that wrong, but that song, that could have been the club song. It was the club song, but that could have been him in the club trying to kind of gain his confidence back, you know what I'm saying? And then Baptized in Fear is probably him, dang, I can't sing, I lost my voice, I lost my pride, I'm gonna go back to drugs and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Now he's paralyzed in a tub. I fell asleep in the tub, I was met with paralysis. You know what I'm saying? He could have been there. And then there's voices telling him to just move on, leave, you know what I'm saying? And then Jenna Ortega comes in and saves him. That would have been dope. Pulls him out of the tub, and then from Baptized in Fear, you know, it transitions into Open Hearts. Open Hearts could have been him driving to the hospital, just like the actual music video. Oh my God, man. Tell me when I'm not cooking. Tell me when I'm not cooking. That's all I had for now. And then obviously in the beginning of this video, I mentioned how Big Sleep and all the way down to Hurry Up Tomorrow it's its own little story there, so that could have been added in the film. But imagine this just being one big music video for Hurry Up Tomorrow. Not even every single song, but the story is cohesive with the songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, as the songs play down the list, there's a scene and there's some story that goes into it. That's all you needed to do. I just don't know what you were trying to do here, Abel. I just don't know. And with that being said, I think I have to give the film a 5. The film gets a 5. I liked it because of everything that I mentioned before. But if somebody came up to me and was like, hey man, you're a fan of The Weeknd? sees me in this shirt. He's like, hey man, you a fan of The Weeknd? I'm like, yeah man, you got a favorite song? And he's like, no, but that movie was shit though. I'm probably not gonna disagree with him. I'm gonna say like, dang, that was pretty harsh, but you're not wrong. But anyways, I gotta go to bed, guys. I know what you're thinking. Tylen, go to bed. You didn't need to film this. You didn't need to film this. We don't listen to The Weeknd. I'm playing. But I do need to go to bed, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been talking for 45 minutes straight. It probably won't feel like that because of all the jump cuts and edits and stuff. But I have been talking for 45 minutes straight, and I should go to bed because I want to get my Daredevil Born Again review out in time, because I already posted a YouTube post on there that says tomorrow, which is today. Hang on, I'm not done yet. There's gonna be a lot of people that are really big fans of The Weeknd, and if you really do like this film, you like this film. But there's a lot of people out there that are probably going to say that this is a really good film, and I came at you in the most realist way, being a Weeknd fan. But I can, when things aren't good, I'm going to call it out. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's immune to criticism. There are some people out there that I feel are going to lack critical thinking when it comes to this film, and they're going to call it the best thing ever. Again, it was a good, amazing cinematography, great performances, a lot of raw emotion, good music, good sound design. Loved it. From a story aspect, the whole entire reason why I came to go watch the movie, it was bad. It was just bad. That's just it. So what I'm saying is, some of the reviews you see, take it with a grain of salt. Go watch the movie for yourself, of course. Again, this movie gets like a 5.5, 6 out of 10. But anyways, guys, I need to go to bed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm tired. So long.